Welcome to the hot seat.
This is fun.
How's that? Nice and bright?
Yep.
How do you feel?
Great.
Awesome. Can you
Okay.
see me okay, or do I look like this little gnome behind the camera?
You don't look like a gnome, it's okay.
Great.
I'm a student at Newcastle Uni at the moment and I'm studying law and development.
I'm in the recruitment process for the army.
I'm currently enrolling to be a Create youth consultant.
Well, I was born in John Hunter Hospital, moved up to Queensland back when I was with my parents, and then really went into foster care from there.
I've been in foster care since I was 4 years old, and I just left foster care 4 months ago.
I was with one for my whole life.
I've been in foster care since I was 6 weeks old, and the carers who I got placed with had my sister and my brother as well, and I was lucky enough to stay with them throughout my whole life.
I was fostered until I was 12 and then they legally adopted me at 12.
I only ever had one set of foster carers. I got a big X for that one. So I've almost lost count of how many foster carers I've had.
I have had 2 foster carers and 2 kingship carers, so one with my auntie, one with my nan. And then the first carers, they were carers when I first went into care, but Meg was, my long term.
No, I was in 11 different foster placements, so that is not true.
I've only had one set, but I was in respite, but I don't tend to call them. I just say my respite family or someone who took me in at the time I needed to be taken in.
Well, that says it all. I only ever had one set. That's pretty much it.
You'll be very lucky if you have one for your whole foster care, pretty much life, but be expected to have multiples because some might find it not in their capacity to be able to take care of a foster kid if need be, and that's not your problem. It's really something that they can't deal with, and life goes on.
I was in foster care because I was a troublemaker. No, I wasn't. As far as I can remember,
Incorrect.
Obviously not, seeing as I was 4 months old when this all happened.
I don't think so.
I can't really say much because I was 7 months old, so I probably was.
I came into foster care because my mum, she was in a women's refuge and contacted my dad, and my dad came to try and take me back, but that didn't work, so I got taken away.
It's because my parents, specifically my dad, did not take care of us to the responsibility he was required to, and we were taken away because of that. Of course, I was a little bit of a troublemaker after that because, as kids do when they get taken away from their parents, they tend to be a little bit more resilient.
It didn't really have anything to do with me or who I was or what I did. It was pretty much out of my control and out of nothing to do with my character as a baby.
My mum couldn't afford all of us, me and my brothers and my sisters, so we just went in the newspaper and on TV to try and get a family.
My parents weren't mature enough to be parents at that time,
When I was in foster care, I never saw my natural family, mum, dad, siblings, grandparents, etc. That is also incorrect. I had frequent visits with my father and mother, and sometimes my grandparents, all the time, once a month at least, throughout while I was in foster care, so I got to see them quite frequently.
I saw my actual family at least once a month, but I always kept in touch with my birth family as well as my grandparents and extended family like cousins and aunties and uncles.
I got to see my dad once every fortnight, and I saw my mum once every 2 months, maybe once every month, and I lived with my biological sister and brother.
Well, I saw them all the time. Maybe more than once a month I saw my birth mum. My biological dad wasn't on the scene, but my grandma was wonderful.
When I was in foster care, I did see my mum and my real dad, but they weren't really fussed of seeing me, so I just didn't bother trying to see them anymore.
I was only 9 when Dad passed, so it was really good getting to know him.
I think Mum and Dad understood that it was really important to have those access visits, and that Jennifer, my biological mum, her approval and her liking them was very important to them as well.
So, myth busted.
Alright. My contact visits were always easy. Well, they were I think I was a young kid, so it was easy for me.
Now that's on a little bit of a grey area.
I would say not always. There would be times when I would go home feeling happy, but it wouldn't be until a few days later the nerves and the anxiety would play up, or even days leading up to seeing my family, I would just get a bit anxious and a bit nervous what was going to happen. But while I was at contact, nothing ever went wrong.
Nah, that's a lie. That's a full lie. With my dad, they were. I was a sucker for my dad, but my mum was a different story.
Kind of. With docs, it was a bit hard because they were trying to find them because we didn't know where they lived.
Mum was very physically and emotionally and mentally abusive, and there was always something going down on an access. So, nah, that's a lie.
My foster carers were perfect parents. No, I don't think so.
Right, buckle up, kiddos.
Yes, I would say, in a sense, yes.
Yes. Yeah. I love my foster parents. Even though I'm 18, I still keep in contact with them, nearly every day, sometimes more.
My first 2 foster carers, which were very temporary for 1 week to a month. I can't remember the exact time range since I was small, but they were quite loving and caring. But then I got moved into more not so loving carers.
They taught me life lessons like how to cook, how to clean, how to drive.
Favoritism towards their own child.
I think I called Mum 3 times today, and the day's not even halfway over.
Abuse, physical, whatnot.
I love him. I'm so lucky I got with him.
I got the variety of the mix, and then thankfully I got moved into a more loving family at the very end.
Yeah, they were. I have to admit they were. They were always up there and helping me out and pushing me to get things that I needed to get done, and got me a house. So I had a roof over my head at least.
Some were nice, some were bad. It really depends on if they can understand your situation.
You're fooling yourself if you think you have to be perfect to be a foster parent, because that's just not fair on anyone.
Okay. As a child in foster care, I never felt part of the family.
No, I never felt like that with my foster family.
I would say that is definitely true. But with the strong connection that you can try and build with your foster carer, it always helps. Especially if there's other kids in there as well. It's quite hard because I always felt like they liked their kids more than me, because me being a foster kid, they're just I felt like I was a money target, to be honest.
I'd have to say, during the start, I never felt part of the family. I felt like an outsider, just in an unknown place.
As soon as I went in there, they've just clamped onto me and made me feel at home.
Just strong support and all that would help to be part of the family, but there was only one foster care placement that always gave me that.
My foster family has 4 of their own children. From day one, as soon as mine and my siblings walked into that house, they treated us like brothers and sisters.
I always felt a part of the family. They are our family, whether or not we're all, biologically connected.
I always felt a part of my family and where I belonged, because without my foster family, I wouldn't know what I'd be doing right now.
After I was in care, I never heard from my foster carers. Oh, okay. So, I was adopted after I was in care by the foster carers, so...
That is true. When I went out of care and into residential care, I never heard from them again.
As soon as I moved out, my carer helped me move out. She blocked out the whole week to help me move into my apartment.
I still talk to them every now and then, but the other ones, not really. I guess it's more of the time range that I've been with them, or the distance I've been away from them, that caused the rift between us.
Yeah, I always keep in contact all the time.
I see them all the time. They're my mum and dad.
Moving in with my foster family was easy.
No, it's not.
Just getting all your stuff all together and moving, and just not sure how long you're going to be staying there for, or if or anything like that. It's really hard.
So it takes time and a lot of healing and working together with a foster carer. So you need that one-on-one time.
I moved in there and wasn't really expecting much. I expected the worst. So when I got a little bit of a better treatment, I was like, ooh, surprise.
Yeah, it would have been painful to change around if I'd have had to, but I didn't have to, so that's a blessing, I think.
Being around there to comfort me 24/7, like check up on me every now and then and pretty much treat me like their own son, not like an outsider that just came in. Once I stepped in there, it was mother mode and father mode, which pretty much ignited a small warmth that I was missing for quite a long time in my childhood. It kind of made me feel a little bit more confident about myself, that I wasn't just a stranger in the world that had no presence at all, that had no meaning. I was someone that was loved, someone that was cared about, and someone that wasn't just there, you know, just to be tossed around.
I was really grateful for all the help my foster carers gave me.
Yes. Yes, I am very grateful, and I tell them that every day.
Well, they're my parents, so I'm grateful to them. But, I mean, it's not like I look back on the situation and think, I'm so grateful that they helped me. It's kind of like an ongoing thing with your mum and dad.
I'm only grateful for the ones that gave me that warmth, because they're the ones that helped me develop.
Yeah, I was really proud of them. I have to say that. They really helped me a lot, and it's really helped me now since I've grown up.
I see them as the person that shaped me into who I am today, and I'm happy with who I'm in.
Yeah, especially buying my first car.
I'm so grateful for them and everything they've sacrificed for me throughout the years and what they've done and who they've made me become.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Awesome.
That was pretty easy.
There you go.